Hey guys, Dead Moose here. I'm back with another video. This time, one Corolla less, and now I have a TRD off-road, and my needs have changed. Then, as my needs changed, my need to carry my bike has changed. I can't use a roof rack; it's too long for the bed. And I love the Co-op Piston Pro X. It's great. It holds our bikes perfectly. There's only one huge problem, and that it's not mine. It's my girlfriend's. So I can't use that all the time. She goes riding without me. But I reached out to Freedom Coast, and they decided to work with me on showing how I'm going to both use and install their fork mounts. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put together a couple videos for each of these components and how to use them. So thank you, Freedom Coast. Alright, so tonneau covers are great, but they don't have anywhere to put bikes. So I think the plan of attack is to find the center hole on the L track and then line it up with this rib that goes down the truck. But the key is to place it left or forward and back in a spot where it won't interrupt the it won't have any issue with the internal structure. So here's the bottom of the tonneau cover. Don't mind the missile looking thing, but we should be looking for, so there's pockets that run along the tonneau cover, and I'm going to go right up in here, and I'm going to measure. I may potentially remove the tonneau cover to do this, but we're gonna basically put the first hole, and that's gonna be our middle hole. And then once we have the middle hole, what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure from the front glass or the edge of the tonneau cover to that hole, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the first hole, we're gonna place the L track and bolt it in, and then that'll allow it to swivel back and forth, and then we will make the distances between this window edge and the L track equal on both sides so that it's square. Once it's square, then we can drop in our second hole and then the rest of the holes. So I got hardware with, don't mind the drone, I got hardware with drill bits, so or the gun or the other drone. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this process started. All right, so we got our hardware. We removed the tonneau cover, flipped it upside down. This will make it a lot easier to get at least the initial hole. So we're gonna go in the middle of this rib, directly in the center, and we're just gonna kind of eyeball it. It's not super important, but try to make it as straight as I can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the edge of the tape to give me an idea of where the middle will be. So it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. And then we can even probably get some calipers, measure the internal, make sure it looks pretty centered. And then we can even, I think we can eyeball the center of that. So we're just gonna I think I'm gonna favor towards the back of the truck, away from the rear window. That way we have the most adjustability with our adjustable mount. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a drill bit so we can drill this. This Milwaukee set.
Actually, you want to start over again. Sorry. There you go.
All right. So I picked up this Milwaukee set. These are impact rated. We don't need impact rated, but I only have an impact. So we're gonna start off with a pilot hole that is gonna be under 1/4 inch. Realistically, we should start with like an 1/8 inch, but it's plastic. So we're gonna go just under a 1/4 inch. We're gonna run the pilot hole, And if we can get the bolt through that, which we shouldn't be able to because it's going to be a quarter 20, then, you know, I'd like it tighter than not. So we're going to try that, and then we're going to move on to the quarter inch if that does not work. So let's give it a shot. So, you know, this is blasphemy in my opinion. I don't like drilling into things that are very hard to replace. But this will make my life so much easier. Okay. And she's sent. Got a clean hole. Looks pretty centered. And now we can test fit our hardware. So, good habit. Put things back when you're done using them, because that's how you lose stuff. So here we have we're using zinc oxide black steel. I think they're grade 5, but we don't need super duper strong. Here, cut. Alright, so we've got our PB Swiss screwdriver set. Best screwdriver, by the way. Snap on, schmap on when it comes to screwdrivers. Except for the full sets, those are nice. So we're gonna go ahead, and I believe that the screw might actually, yeah, so going a size under quarter inch, you know, which would give you a clearance hole, we're actually able to do what we want with giving a much tighter seal around each of the screw heads. So with this being said, now we can mount up our L-track, we can bolt it in the center, then we can even it out, and then continue sending all the holes. And it should be watertight. So here we have our Freedom Coast L-track. We're gonna put the logo towards the back so people passing can see it. But we're gonna go ahead and get the first part, or the first bolt, run up. You can show the top, show the bolt. This is without a nut, so this is just on the ABS. And I really don't want to strip it, so I'm not going to continue once I hit it. So now I'm completely being suspended by the ABS, and now I'm going to throw a fender washer, support the other side, run the nylock nut in, and then start moving the tonneau cover back onto the truck, and then measuring, making sure it's dead straight, and then we should be done with the front. The front is the harder one in my opinion, because the rear is very freeform. The rear, depending on your tonneau cover, it may go someplace, it may go others, but this is where this one's gonna fall. So all right, so my POV, so you can see, like, there's the middle rib, and then there is the bolt. Looks pretty centered. I favored it just a little bit towards the aft, just to give me more room from the window. But yeah, should be good. Alice over here eating peanuts behind the scenes. Every time I do something, and then she her hands in that bag, reaching for peanuts. Yeah, like a squirrel. Yeah. That's what I got. All right, so we got the tonneau cover reinstalled. It's just a flip and then a couple latches, and then the gas shock. But right now she's loose, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure from, I'll go get my calipers, we'll measure from, so in the list of unflattering shots, we're going to go ahead and measure. So we'll use the depth gauge on this guy, and we're going to go from the window gasket to the edge and see how far off we are. Wow, first try Fridays, it's even. So okay, and now it is dead even on the glass on both sides. So here goes nothing. We're gonna go ahead and send it on through. We got it marked. Probably just gonna do it outside. All right, there's one. So now grab a bolt. We're gonna drop it in so it stays in its spot, and then we're gonna do the other side. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing the initial fit up, and so far where her bike lands is perfect. Let's see. There. So on that fork we have the adjustable mount, and it's got, I believe, 6 different adjustment positions. And then here we have the micro mount, which is a lower profile mount, which is going to lower your center of gravity a little bit, but it's super taut, very, very stout. And then, so hers lands in a great spot for the second L track to be placed, and then we're going to place mine. We'll place both L tracks in the same spot, just different positions over. But so far, this is looking like a great solution for a 5-foot bed. This short beds, it's hard to carry bikes. So it's, even with the tailgate down, or even with the front wheel off, if we were to mount it where the factory rail sliders are, you'd still have to have the tailgate down. So that's why most people do the tailgate pad, but from my experience, carbon doesn't like being compressed in that direction. So especially when you have a hard point load, it's bad on the carbon. So yeah, this is I think this is a really good solution. Now we have Stump Jumper Evo ready to go. Pretty impressed with the build quality so far, but yeah, we're probably gonna do the second part tomorrow. All right, Dead moves back at it again. So anyway, so we're gonna end this video. We're at Luiseño Bike Park in San Diego, and this is how I'm using it. We drove 500 miles, and the fork mount has been great. I have some cheap insurance with some straps. Luckily, they're universal L-track, so you can even use non-Freedom Coast accessories. So we can pull these out, we can place them wherever we want, or we can leave them there. They're very strong. And so far, this has been an amazing addition to my tonneau cover. This has been super useful, and without it, we wouldn't have been able to transport 3 bikes with all of our clothes and gear. So, thanks, Freedom Coast.
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and one more thing. You can even open the tonneau cover with the bike on the rack. That's completely open. So, highly recommend.